Wafting on the air outside this nondescript strip mall, hints of burnt sugars with a slight malty floral background escape the confines of Roast House, a small Spokane coffee roasting company. In the midst of cooking up small batches of beans, coffee roaster Aaron Rogers diligently scoops up green coffee beans from burlap bags and dumps them into a roasting convection oven, one bucket load at a time. By offering only 100% organic coffees that are fairly traded and sustainably grown, Roast House has created a niche for itself in the Spokane coffee market that only they populate. Coffees that owner Debra Di Bernardo characterizes as ethical, sustainable, and delicious.
Besides dealing in fairly traded, sustainably grown coffees, coffee, soy, cotton, sugars are a major cause of third world deforestation. And coffee, being the heaviest traded commodity of those, contributes significantly to that. So one of the tenets of the business is, can we share that model, and how many people can we share it with? So using the company as a sustainable model for food production, and using that's one of the goals. We're just delighted that recently we have been asked to speak a bit. And I believe part of that is because of the Good Food Awards.
The annual Good Food Awards, held in San Francisco, is a premier competition for some of the best new artisanal boutique products nationwide. 10 different categories of goods compete for a Best of Award in their respective groups.
We entered it with no thought to actually winning. We just hoped to be critiqued and then use that critique to kick up our game. What the parameters are for the award is the product has to be transparent. So you have to be able to clearly define where it came from, who produced it. It has to be fairly traded, and it has to be grown sustainably. And since all our products on the floor are sustainable and fairly traded, it was fairly easy for us to compete. We just, one day after roasting, scooped some coffee out of a bin and sent it. And won it, very much to our surprise.
I was shocked. I mean, there were several nominees and then finalists. I respect every single one of them. I had most of their coffees, and I was just kind of honored to be up there next to them. So if anything, it was kind of a humbling experience for me. It was really exciting. It was cool that something that we're doing on a small scale in a small town of Spokane was being recognized by guys that I think are changing the world in coffee, and guys that I respect and love what they do. And so to be sort of up on the stage with them, so to speak, it's pretty cool. The coffee that we submitted from Guatemala, Bas Chocolat, when you buy that coffee in the grocery store, that's the exact same coffee that was entered into the competition. So it's cool to kind of get that pat on the back, I guess.
That pat on the back was a direct result of Debra and Roast House deciding to bring on a young, aspiring 19-year-old coffee roaster with a penchant for roasting very small batches for his friends at school. Aaron Rogers, now 21 years of age, began apprenticing with Dave Ryer, Roast House's original coffee roaster, and after spending 9 months under his tutelage, Debra decided to give Aaron the reins after Ryer left the business.
Oh my goodness, he is one of those young hipster boys that wants to roast everything super light. He wants to bring out the citrus notes, loves African coffees that are very fruity, very citrusy, very, very lightly roasted. I think he's come to understand that 80% of our customers like those medium dark coffees. So the relationship is sweet enough that he's open, he's receptive. We butt heads at times, but we've also allowed him to create a whole line of coffees that he feels the younger people will really enjoy, and we're calling that our 20%.
I tend to gravitate towards the lighter spectrum of roasting because I find that there's a lot more transparency in the flavors. Darker roasts, you can taste more of the roaster, you can taste more of the roasting process, the smoke, the kind of burnt sugars. It's almost borderline bitter, but in a positive way. It's my job to produce something that people enjoy. And so darker roasts are what people enjoy, and you're always just trying to strive to create something, extraordinary.
Extraordinary, organic, fair trade, sustainably grown coffees start with extraordinary beans, and Roast House has committed its business model to support the farmers and communities that produce these products.
The coffee we buy, that 1%, it's less than 1%. That's all that's left of natural coffee production. So everything else is grown in a clear-cut environment, heavy chemicals. So I think more importantly to me is that coffee has to be grown sustainably. It has to be grown without chemicals. It can't be mucking up water systems in these countries. It has to be something that can go on and be continued for generations to come. We need to be more sustainable in everything we do, especially when it comes to food production.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.